Welcome to the Dynasty Happy Hour podcast. Pull up a chair and kick up your feet as you get ready to enjoy some of the industry's most entertaining and actionable Dynasty content on the planet. We're talking veterans, rookies, sleepers, and oh yeah, you know the crew has those dad jokes ready for you. So let's not wait any longer and bring on the host or some combination of Doug, James, and Tyler.
Welcome back to the Dynasty Happy Hour Father's Day edition. We're all fathers here. We're going to have some fun this week. This week's episode is all about who is your daddy and what does he do. We're going to talk about our players that have been daddies for our team, using daddy as a good term. And we're going to talk about players that have, haven't been a good dad. It's like when you get socks for Father's Day. We're going to talk about the players that haven't been good on our teams, and they've been bad daddies, but not in a good way. If you're following along, if you know what, if you know, you know, if you know, you know, that's all I'm gonna say. We were off last week, so Tyler was up north visiting his parents. What do they have, a lake house like Keanu Reeves up there?
No,
they
have
magic mailbox.
They have a
that was a lake house,
like
right?
a park, like a park model home. It's almost like a trailer home, but it's
like a modular,
like 8 Mile.
It's fancy. I mean, it looks like a legit house.
He went up there to get mom's spaghetti. Apparently,
it was awesome. It was a good
breathing
time.
Heavy.
I miss hanging out by the fires, but yeah, we're back.
Yes, we are back. We've got a bunch of news to go over. We're going to talk about daddies on Father's Day, but first, I want to know how your Father's Day was. We'll start with Tyler. He's got the most kids, so we'll start with him first.
My Father's Day was really good. Went to a fish fry, but I want to talk about what I did last night. And last night,
oh boy,
I am not good with cock in my hand because I was in the bathroom all night, doing my shower. I had to redo the cock in my shower, and I'm clumsy with cock. Like it's all like I got it all over my hands. I didn't realize how messy cock was, but
all right. I think you're pronouncing it wrong, and the Jersey accent will come in and play here. Cork.
Yeah, that's how you guys say
C-A-U-L. I thought you had a chicken in your house.
That's how you guys say it, right? That's
Cock.
just your New Jersey accent.
Cock.
In Minnesota,
Like
we call it
walk?
cock.
Walk.
That's why I said
Cock.
cock. Yeah,
So talk to me about the messy caulk.
I thought you were
Macaulay Culkin.
listing your Pornhub.
So here I am, looking at videos like, why are their cock guns so messy? And I'm like, okay, now I get it. Because
Took too much off the tip.
The second that
Be
stuff
sure to
starts
slide
to
the
leak,
nail in afterwards.
yes, and
Ow.
the weird thing is like
Slow drag.
It's almost like something
bad.
that just takes over your body. Like it got on the tip of my fingers, and all of a sudden I look, it's all over my hands. Then all of a sudden I look again, it's all over my shirt, my shorts. I'm
I
like,
hate it when that happens.
oh my god! Like cock was all over. It was insane. Yeah, for people who
I feel for you. I mean, the first time I caulked something, yes,
So-
it was a big white mess, sticky everywhere.
we're gonna get a review.
You
for
know,
this,
I
aren't we?
got
100%.
more experience
care.
as I went through. I did the clear caulk. That seems to work a little bit better
Oh,
for
the
me.
ghost
It starts
caulk.
white.
I
and
use
then
the
it
silicone.
goes clear. Yeah.
I use the silicone.
That's what I feel like. Did I use it? I don't know what I used,
but
but
the trick is not to cut too much off the top.
I
Yes.
did.
You know, if
Just
you
the
give
tip.
them a full circumcision, you're done.
But yeah, my shower looks great, and that's what I did yesterday. I did it late, and shower looks awesome. And yeah, I can't. People who deal with cock for a living, good on you because it gets messy.
Yeah, you got to be a professional cock handler at times, I tell you. Shout out to those folks.
Yeah, well,
You know who you are.
Tyler caulked the night away. Today was great. I hung out on the beach with the fam, same as last week, grilled. Had some sausage and peppers going, some burgers, beautiful day, 85 and sunny here at the Jersey Shore. Can't complain. Did a bunch of Scott Fishbowl
Laundry.
mock drafts.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah,
We'll be meeting tomorrow.
getting ready for my live Philly draft in a couple weeks. So very excited about that.
Yeah, nice. The wife and kids took me up to Gillette Stadium, and we went to lunch at Citizen Crust, which is a pizza. They've got all sorts of stuff. Cool place. First time I've ever been. I've been wanting to go for a while because they got good recommendations, so we went there. I do have an issue, though, Tyler, because you're the first one that ever told me about Crumble Cookie. Didn't realize they're closed on Sundays. I would have liked to experience it today, but they
Is
were
that
closed.
like a Chick-fil-A thing?
Yep, they're closed on Sundays.
Now
and
it
it's
says on their
because
website it's all about family, not about religious regions. I don't know if I believe it, but they're closed on Sundays, which to me is asinine because they're they're right outside of Gillette Stadium. There'll be game days on Sundays, and they would kill it.
It is honestly because they need to refresh the menu. Like they change the cookies up every week, and Sundays they're kind of like, okay, like 7 p.m. hits here Central Time, and you look on the app, there's a new lineup. And that's what my son like. I like to look at the new lineups.
I'm not buying it. And it's ridiculous. But anyway, hey, to each their own. I would have loved to experience it. Maybe I'll just have to have some when I come and visit you next month, Tyler.
When the new guy on the block, Doug, you can't, even if they are the underdog of cookie companies, like they're going up against a lot of competition. I still think that Crumble is pretty good.
Yeah. Hopefully their business doesn't crumble because it's not open on Sundays.
Boo.
And then I went and I
Dad
saw the new Transformers movie with my oldest, just him and I. And it was good. I'm not a fan of Pete Davidson, Butthole Eyes himself. I don't think he's that funny. I don't like his face. I don't like the history of where he's been because I'm a little envious. But I got to say, he voiced one of the characters in Transformers, Mirage, and he was actually really funny and kind of stole the movie. So I liked it. It was probably one of the best Transformers movies I've ever seen. I know that's not a high bar, but it was a lot of fun. So I'll give it that. So very, very cool to see the Transformers movie with him. And now I'm here with you guys, just dadding it out. And you know what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go over on Underdog.com. After I like and subscribe on the YouTube channel, by the way, I'm going to go over to Underdog.com. I am going to go and enter a daily best ball draft. They've already started. There's still Best Ball Mania, number 4, the biggest underdog contest ever with $3 million to first place. Or if you just want to do a puppy tournament, $5 to enter for $500,000 in prizes. I know NBA just wrapped up. Hockey's done, but we got baseball. We got golf. NFL, like we said, the best ball drafts are back, so you can go to town on those. Use code DHH when you do. They'll match up to $100. You put 50, you get 50, so on and so forth. You know the math, or at least I hope you do. And if you don't, talk to Tyler.
Use a calculator.
Use a calculator. So go on over to Underdog, download the app today, code DHH when you start, and they'll match your deposit up to $100. All right, you guys ready to get into some player news?
Yeah,
I am too. I haven't been on Twitter a ton this week, but I've been seeing some. We like to use the term. I think the first person I ever heard use the term drumbeat might have been Matt Harmon.
Yeah. Football guys, Cecil Hammy.
Yeah, we start to hear like a steady drumbeat for players, and then you hear it in a distance, and then it gets stronger and stronger, and it draws you closer, and then you're like, oh, now I'm paying attention because I'm hearing the same things, like, oh, Sam Laporta, drumbeat. That's just me because he's my most owned rookie, but whatever. So we're hearing a lot of drumbeats about quarterback Sam Howell with Washington Commanders, and Ron Rivera said he's going to enter training camp as a starter. Jahan Dotson also talked him up this week, saying that like Sam's the guy, he's under control, everything looks good. It doesn't come as a surprise. They gave him first team reps all offseason. They only brought in Jacoby Brissett on a decent amount of money to compete with him. And I liked Jacoby Brissett last year for the Browns. I thought he was a quality starting NFL quarterback, better than most backup type of guys. But the hype for Howell could really start to take off if he can carry his minicamp into the preseason. The big acquisition for Washington in the offseason was OC Eric Bieniemy. We know they've got a good roster of pass catchers on Washington. Antonio Gibson's starting to get some hype as well. So I'm kind of buying into Washington's offense. Tyler, you've been a Howell guy like I am. He was my guy that I took late in Superflex leagues, like in the late third is typically where I got Howell. And I got him in a ton of spots. And I know you like him as well. So where do you think Sam Howell could finish if he is the starter for the Commanders? Is he a top 15 guy?
I think James was a bigger Howell guy than me, but I will answer.
Was he?
I would say quarterback 16-ish if he hits everything. Why can't he start off kind of what Kirk Cousins did? Maybe honestly, I could see him being what we wanted Baker Mayfield to be. I know the comps are there, but they play very similar style of games. And Howell, to me, is more composed than Baker Mayfield was and mentally able to make plays, off script than Baker was, even though Baker's rookie season that's what it was all about. I think he fell apart because the tape was there. People realize, like, hey, this is what Baker Mayfield does. He'll roll out of the pocket, he'll roll right, and he'll throw it downfield. That ain't happening. Like Howell, I think, has a little more in his playbook. So I'd say if everything pans out and he has a good season, quarterback, I would say 14 to 18 around that range.
So a solid QB2. James, you in agreement with that? I think that's where I'm at. Like, because the weapons around him are good.
Yeah, I wouldn't complain about it right now. I mean, Dynasty, he's going behind Will Levis in startups.
I think he's
at
QB
33.
That's
yeah, he's in the 30s, which is dumb.
Before the aforementioned Baker Mayfield. So, I mean, yeah, the comp may be there, but I think he's quicker on his feet than Baker, and he did have a nicer long arm than Baker did as well. And I think his last year in college in North Carolina was the fact that he lost a lot of weapons. He lost his favorite target in Diami Brown.
Who's on the Commanders?
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, I'm not making that
shower corollary.
Yeah, no, but between Jahan Dotson, Terry McLaurin, they still have Curtis Samuel there. You mentioned Antonio Gibson.
Forgotten Curtis Samuel. Like
I believe
Thomas.
that. And you know what's really funny is about this news, 11 days prior to this news coming out, Ron Rivera turned around and said, "Oh, it's going to be a competition." Da 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 da. So we already know that Ron Rivera doesn't have any control over this offense. That's why they went out and got Eric Bieniemy to run this offense. And if all the stars align, I think Sam Howell can easily be a high-end QB2.
I agree. So right in your backyard, James, the Athletics' Dan Duggan said it looks like wide receiver Paris Campbell will be a featured piece of the offense. I'm going to let you take it here. My biggest concern with Campbell is dude's never healthy. Like,
right. And the reason why he may have been getting all this work is because Wandale isn't healthy just yet. He's coming off of the what is it? ACL?
ACL.
Yeah, he's torn ACL. And you know, last year we didn't really have too much competition. They have 4 or 5 slot receivers on this roster.
Got a lot of receivers.
Paris Campbell, Wandale. They still have
Sterling
Shepard.
Yeah.
So who the heck knows what they are thinking about? The little tea leaf that I picked up off this news was a little further down when it said Jalen Hyatt ran with the third team in minicamp.
You want to know why?
Because he is not pro ready.
Yep. Bingo.
That's
not pro
it.
ready. In Tennessee, they pretty much schemed him open. They gave him open routes. He just ran down the field. He will have plenty of plays like that this season, but you're not going to want to start him. He is a best ball guy. If you got him in the 3rd round like I did, you're still fine because he's an upside play. He's an upside play. He's a Blitnikoff winner. A lot of what his career projection reminded me of was James Washington, but I liked James Washington better. But
can we talk about him later, Tyler?
James, no, we are not, because there's another receiver that is who hurt me more.
Yeah,
I'm still on the hill.
Who called you daddy even more?
I'm still on the hill,
waving to everybody from the top of that hill.
I'm just bones and dust.
Yeah, not even that at this point. So yeah, Paris Campbell, always an interesting player, just can never stay healthy. The Athletics' Nate Taylor reports the Chiefs hope Isaiah Pacheco, with his labrum in hand, returns midway through camp. Now, we've been hearing a little bit of a steady drumbeat for Deneric Prince, and I'll get to him in a second. But Pacheco suffered a torn labrum and a broken bone in his hand as a rookie, played through it, but ultimately needed surgery for both after the season. He's still recovering, isn't expected to be ready for the start of training camp in July. In his absence, Taylor highlighted UDFA rookie Deneric Prince as a name to know during minicamp, and Prince will see most of his run on special teams as a rookie, but could take on a larger role if Pacheco's surgery is his recovery is delayed. So I like Deneric Prince. He's more of an upright guy, but his metrics.
I can't stand the way he runs.
I know he is an upright guy. He looks weird, but when I saw him at the combine, I thought his hands looked good. His speed was good. His movements, he wasn't overly stiff. So he was a guy that I've targeted like as a UDFA in a ton of leagues because you know what? You just never know.
Well.
Like the Chiefs don't commit to one running back. Jerick McKinnon's 31 years old. Hilaire can't stay healthy. Pacheco's a 7th round pick. Like why not take a flyer on Deneric Prince? And I liked what I saw, and he had a good collegiate resume. So any thoughts here on, I know Pacheco, I think he's like RB 27 or 28 right now on DLF. So to me, anytime you have a 7th round rookie pick or a 7th round draft pick and he hits, like, they usually don't sustain it for multiple years. Look at Philip Lindsay and guys like that.
James Robinson, gone. Poof.
Yeah, cut from the Patriots. Boo-bye.
Yes.
So for me, Pacheco is on the sell list. If you find someone that loves him and they want to give you a second for him, take it and run. That's what I say.
See, if you're competing, I would hang on. I still really like Pacheco. That team really likes Pacheco. I mean, that's all you hear about. Like, all the players talk about the Super Bowl run and like, hey, this guy played his ass off and he was running.
We've seen guys get hot during Willie Parker. We've seen guys get hot during Super Bowl runs.
I still think Pacheco's going to be part of that team.
What's his name? Damian Williams.
And Prince, he reminds me of Booker T running down to the ring back in the day when it was just the way he runs.
Sucker!
Like bow-legged. I don't know what it is, but I cannot watch that guy run.
Now I'll never unsee it. Thanks, Tyler.
Yep, pretty much.
Thanks for that.
I have faith in Isaiah Pacheco coming back. It was smart that he got through the rest of the season with the sustained hand injury and the labrum. So he was still able to play. I think he's going to be just fine coming into training camp. Maybe he shows up a week or two late. Big deal. We're not looking for him to catch passes.
Yeah.
We're looking for the versatility in between the tackles. So I think it's going to be just fine for him. I think his arrow points up as far as touchdowns this season.
If Doug can play Fortnite with a broken hand, Pacheco can play
Pacheco
football.
can play football.
Oh, hell
with
yeah.
the torn labrum.
Yeah, you know it, 100%. It is true. Speaking of the Chiefs and players that scored in the Super Bowl, and no, I'm not talking about Kadarius Toney. Chiefs coach Andy Reid said wide receiver Sky with 2 Ys Moore is taking a good jump. Quotation fingers. Reid noted that Moore was one of the higher targeted receivers after the team's final day of minicamp. Cool. Moore failed to earn Reid's trust as a rookie. Caught just 22 passes for 250 yards. Got a really slow start. A lot of inactive on game days for him.
Punts.
Yeah, he was also benched from punt return duties because of fumbling issues. Getting on Reid's good side this offseason is step one in Moore turning things around. I don't know. I can't trust any Kansas City Chief wide receiver because I think they're just going to peanut butter the ball over the field. Not literally, because that would be gross and I'd have an allergic reaction and possibly die. So for me,
I would love it.
Yes. The Kadarius Toney is their wide receiver 1. Like, I'm just avoiding pass catchers other than Travis Kelce for the Chiefs.
No, I agree. And if you're going to take a shot on pass catchers,
MVS maybe.
Rashee Rice late, if you can get him.
Yep. Just signed a 4-year contract.
Sky Moore, I still think is very interesting. Just the draft capital and the hype he was getting. Their receiving core could just be a hodgepodge, but
like it was last year.
But it could also be players that can help you win games, like spot in. When you need a flex just because of an injury, a late inactive, Sky Moore hopefully can turn into somebody like that, which, I mean, that's best.
I look at him as a low-end wide receiver 3 for Dynasty right now. High-end
high praise.
wide receiver 4.
I was going to say that's high, yeah.
That's like 36.
Yeah,
it's
no.
Wide receiver 3. Wide receiver 3. It's top
low
36.
end. But I don't know if he's going to be wide
36.
receiver 36. Yeah, maybe I want to just say wide receiver 4 and 5.
4/5 in Dynasty.
Which you need.
Which you need. And
but you also drafted him in the first round last year, hoping you would get a bigger return.
If you got him that early.
I
think I reached for him in one league.
Are we talking about the guy that was talking about he was going to be the top scoring receiver last year in his hot takes? I mean, we're going to talk about his right hot takes all the time.
Evan Ingram made up for all the bad ones.
Yeah. You did love some Sky Moore.
Yeah, I did. And then they went out and got Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yep. And then
who was still dealing with injury, apparently.
They took Rashee Rice around the same draft capital. Who knows what this receiving core is going to be? Pat Mahomes is going to Pat Mahomes' way.
It looks like DeAndre Hopkins ain't going there. He's only visited the Titans and the Pats.
I like this news, though, coming out of Kansas City, because all we haven't really heard about Sky Moore at all. We've heard about Kadarius Toney a little bit here and there. We heard even about CEH getting back into the mix, and we'll get to him in a little bit. But I like the fact that Sky Moore still has a lot of upside, being as young as he is, and in the offense that he's in.
Yeah, so, and looking at pictures, Sky Moore looks like he did slim down this year, even though he wasn't a bigger player. I don't know if he bulked up because he was a lighter player in college, and he's a smaller guy.
He bulked up for kick returns, maybe? I don't know.
But he looks like he slimmed down. Like, he looks a lot slimmer, like Russ Wilson slim. But he looks slimmer, and that just could be getting his explosion back and kind of getting back to his college days, which, hey, if you do good in college, don't try to gain weight. Just be you. Like, you did good in college. That's why people want you. Just don't. Yeah. Just stay that way.
100%. Let's keep it moving. Rams head coach Sean McVay said running back Cam Akers will be a central figure in the team's offense this season. As we all know, Akers had a weird year. He was not with the team. They were trying to, supposedly he wanted to be traded, and then he comes back and helps win people leagues at the end of the year and ran really well behind a absolute garbage offensive line with Baker Mayfield at quarterback. But Sean McVay said he's really capitalized on a lot of momentum he built up towards the later part of the year. He's going to be a huge part of what we're doing moving forward, McVay said on SiriusXM. Cam is going to be a central figure in this offense. I think he's priming himself to have a great year. And what I love about this more than anything is that Cam Akers, off an Achilles, I think he's close to what he was before, based on the tape at the end of the year last year.
Same with his value.
Get out. I remember, but here's the thing. If you bought him when he was rumored to be traded and you spent a 3rd-round pick on him, like you can cash out on that.
You're capitalizing on
you cash out on that if you bought low. And then if you're on a win now team, Tyler, he's a great RB2 on a win now team for this year at least. He's a free agent at the end of the year. They drafted Zach Evans late, who a lot of people that know football really, really like. They've also got Tyon Evans, who some people like as well. Me in a league that we just had an auction, I have Cam Akers. I just won Zach Evans to back him up because I was like, you know what? I kind of like Zach Evans a little bit. I actually don't roster him anywhere. So this is my first Zach Evans. So I was like, you know what? I have Akers. I'll get Evans on the cheap and see where it goes, because it could be one of those things. Cam Akers walks as a free agent. Zach Evans is a starter. We don't know. That's how running back works. And I love it when you have the starter and the backup. One gets released or traded, and then you get picked up, and then you have 2 starters. Like Dalvin Cook and Alexander Madison goes from this.
Stock split.
Well, we still need one to actually sign with the team to get a starter.
We'll get there. I'm sure it's coming. But for me, Cam Akers, I've always loved him ever since he was in Florida State, running behind the worst offensive line in the country. So for me, I think Cam Akers is a great if you're on a win now team. If you bought him low, then I would sell him off. Any other things here on Cam Akers before we skedaddle it on?
He's an avoid for me just because of the last year on the contract. I don't want to mess with any of that stuff anymore unless they are a premier running back like Saquon right now. I'd rather go test out the price for him because he didn't sign with the Giants, and if you can get a lower price for Saquon, I'm game for that just because of the news and he's not signing with them. So that's just me. It's Cam Akers. Cam Akers. You're going to need to give a couple seconds for him. Maybe even if you
maybe a second and a third. Maybe
I would say if you haven't had your rookie draft, there's a chance you might have to give 112 for him.
In this class, yeah. It's like, would you rather have Cam Akers or Devin A-Chain? I know what my answer is, but
A-Chain.
No. Akers. Get out of here with Devin A-Chain.
Give me the young running back personally, but
no, I'm a Cam Akers guy, so I would take him over that. And speaking of running backs, this was the weirdest thing I saw all week. Was J.K. Dobbins said his absence from Ravens mandatory minicamp was contract related.
I was talking to James about this.
Have you proven anything in the league?
We were talking about this off air, and
Get
I
out
said,
of here with this.
I said, what if
biggest BS?
What if the running backs are just kind of going on a mini strike? Because hey, they're not getting paid, they're getting disrespected. Like maybe it's time to kind of just be like, hey, pay up or we're not playing. Like that. That's all it takes. And it seems like a lot of running backs are kind of just fed
There's
up
a lot
with
of supply and not a lot of demand. That's what it
true.
comes down to.
But Dalvin Cook is probably a top 10 running back, and he's not going to get top 10
running backs are like
running.
Gas prices. They're either up or they're down, depending on how they're, what the supply is.
And it sucks because they are a major part of a team winning. You need a good running game to have a good passing game, because if you don't have a good running game, the play action's not going to work. So it just kind of sucks. Like you said, Doug, there's so many good running backs, and it's
That's
just
the problem.
not enough starting spots.
And I think this is just smoke here. J.K. Dobbins is obviously going to show up to training camp.
Yeah, he's in
I
no
mean, the
position
guy
to
really
demand
doesn't have.
anything.
He only has like one good leg to stand on. He's missed what? He missed all of 2021 season. He only played 8 games last year, and
with one leg though.
with one leg.
And he was good with that one.
And
leg.
at the end, like,
Yes.
you know, that's what saved him. The one super leg that he has, the bionic leg, will make its return in 2023. It's the end of his. I think he can get a contract extension done mid-season before
Not going to be
everything's
for a
sealed
lot,
up.
though.
I don't
It's
think
ju-
so either. Yeah, I mean, at least maybe another 2 years you'll see J.K. Dobbins, and I'm okay with that for Dynasty.
If anything, what this tells me, and I've been in this mindset for a little while, because, you know, in their backfield, there's Gus Edwards, who is a good running back, and you can get him. If you're in a win now team, Gus Edwards, dirt cheap. I like Gus Edwards. I've always liked him. Dobbins,
Justice Hill.
no, not Justice Hill, not Keaton Mitchell, not
Hey,
whoever
I like
other
Keaton Mitchell.
broke back running back they have there.
Keaton Mitchell is a good stash though.
Yeah, he's a good stash if you're looking for a really electric, quick pass catcher, which kind of
Yeah.
what Justice Hill was coming out of college, right? So
Yeah.
he could just replace him on the roster. We'll see. But yeah, so I just laughed at when I saw, J.K. Dobbins is contract related. Like, dude, you haven't done anything in the league. Why are you even talking about your contract? But
He's
anyway.
trying to make a stand for all running backs.
he's going to
I
die on
do.
that hill like Tyler.
He's gonna
I-
put a
I
claim
do
in
hope.
at DHHHR.
I do think running backs. I want to see the resurgence again. It's just tough in this day and age.
Everything comes in cycles.
Yeah, like
It's going to be, the league is now in smaller, faster separators. It used to be bell cow running backs. It went to like
Big
alpha
receivers.
receivers. Yep. It went to athletic tight ends, and then it's all going to evolve. It'll go back to running backs eventually. Like, it's just
Bill
everything comes
Belichick
back.
will, you know, in 30 years when he's still head coach, will make sure
The
running
age of
backs make a
100.
comeback. He's got a robot heart, a pig head.
I mean, he is pig-headed. Let's be honest.
That's true.
And you know what? You shouldn't be pig-headed, and especially if you're a commissioner and you need to get your trophy done. Like, it's June now. The league's wrapped up 6 months
Be
ago.
ordering boards now.
Yeah, if you haven't got your trophy or anything, God, man, what are you doing? Go to Trophy Smack. You know, we just said that basketball and hockey finished up. If you need a trophy for those sports, they got you. Baseball's ongoing, football's over, soccer, they have everything, and it's all customizable. They have the right trophy for you, and that's what matters. And when you use code DHHRING, you get a free $60 championship ring with the purchase of a trophy or a belt. They also have stuff for the losers of your league, which if you haven't got a trophy yet and you're the commissioner, buy yourself a loser trophy because you're a loser, okay? You're not taking care of your league. It's going to fold because you don't care. But hopefully you care enough to use code DHHRING at checkout just to make up for it, to get some good peace of mind, because that's what matters. All right, let's get on to Dynasty Daddy Hour. This could go in a lot of different ways. We're going to do a positional breakdown of super dad players we love and Father's Day flops that we will never trust again. So James was the first one to get his names in. James with the names. So give me some flames over here, James.
My
Who's your
first.
quarterback?
My super dad at quarterback is none other than Jalen Hurts, mainly because he's been playing like he has been the father of the league for seasons on seasons now.
Big daddy energy.
He hit his mark and stride last season, which was great. You know, he's currently sitting at QB3. The fact that he's my super dad is because the draft capital that he earned in fantasy drafts, dynasty startups, and rookie drafts when he first came out. You know, he fell into the second round in most of your dynasty rookie leagues, rookie drafts. I apologize. And there was a lot of doubt. There was a lot of doubt in the system. There was a lot of doubt in weapons. Philadelphia Eagles turned that all around. And now he's sitting at QB3. Everybody wants a piece of it. Everybody wants a piece of that offense, except for running back in that offense. Because Jalen Hurts does it with his legs. He does it with his arms. And I believe that he's going to continue to do it for at least another 6 years. So I'm totally on board with Jalen Hurts. Yeah, he's my super dad today.
Awesome. My QB super dad, he's a little young. He's not a father yet, but he will be eventually because he is a handsome fella. Macaulay Culkin lookalike himself, Joe Burrow. You know, for me, this one is easy. It's one of the things is like he's the father of that offense, and that offense is one of the best in the league. I really enjoy watching him play, and I have a lot of rostership of Joe Burrow, and he's helped me win titles, and that's a total daddy move, is to help me win a title and put me over the top. And I have him in a ton of dynasty leagues, and I know that I'm safe and secure when, I need someone to go to. My dad's going to be there to help me, and that's Joe Burrow. He's going to be there. He's got my back on my rosters for another 10 years, unless I trade him. But I like him so much. Joe Burrow, my daddy QB. Tyler, who you got?
So I'm kind of going to go a different route. I'm not sure how this is going to go, but I'm going with players I absolutely missed on, either good or bad. They turned out good or bad, and I missed. And players that I felt like I hit and I was right on. And for me, the daddy of the quarterback was Justin Herbert. I had him around.
You were a huge Herbert.
Yes, I thought
every league, Tyler and Herbert.
I thought for sure it was Burrow and Herbert. I had him over Tua for sure, but it was like, do I want Burrow or Herbert? Burrow was usually the pick if I had the choice, but man, if I had a chance to get Herbert, I was trading for him. I was doing anything I could. He is still my most rostered player, and I love seeing that. So Herbert is my daddy quarterback because he's one of the ones that
you were getting him in like mid to late firsts.
105
to 108 or 9.
Yeah, 109 in one league.
Crazy. All right, let's move on to the running back position. James, who's that daddy ball carrier of yours?
I mean, it's none other than Nick Chubb, the Georgia running back that doesn't catch passes, that doesn't need to catch passes because he's been on top of the running back game for the past 4 years without really receiving anything more than 30 plus receptions. And you know what? We saw him do it last year without really having Kareem Hunt in the offense. They didn't go out and add anybody extraordinary. Jerome Ford is the backup as of right now. And they lost, what's his name? Dearness Johnson. We had that phase in there too. And it seems like it's always the pass catching running back that goes in and out of this system for the backup. And Nick Chubb has just been straight solid. Like, how can we
runner in football?
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Yeah, I mean, he is one of the only running backs to ever pass over 5 yards per carry every single season he's been in the NFL. That's a big thing. And even though he doesn't catch the ball that much, he's still leading PPR as the top 6 running back last season.
Yeah.
So I'm all aboard the Nick Chubb train, at least for one more season. And I believe, he's the kind of guy, he's very soft spoken. He doesn't speak up too much. I can see him getting a contract extension where it just works out. That's how I see it. So I think the longevity of Nick Chubb is here to stay for at least another 2 years. So I'm still in, and I'm not buying per se, but I definitely appreciate him if he's on my squad.
Yeah, mine is CMC for very similar reasons. So there's a dynasty league that I've been in the championship 7 straight years, and CMC has been a huge part of that. I've won 3, then lost 3, and then co-champed 1 this year. So now I broke even, which is nice. So for me, it's CMC. And in that particular league, I got him at 105, he was my target going in. I crossed my fingers as I saw Corey Davis go off the board in front of him. And I wanted CMC at 105, and I got him. And he has been just it's so easy. It's 20 points per game when he plays. Just put it in there. It's 20 points. It's easy peasy. He's had some health issues in the past. Luckily, last year he was healthy all year. For the most part, I think he played in almost every game, and he's in a great offense. He's like a lot like Joe Burrow. You can rely on him, but he's been that big daddy energy that's winning me titles. And again, I'm not going out and trying to acquire CMC because I think he just turned 27. But man, if I got him on my team and I'm ready to win, I'm CMC all day long. So he's my daddy at the running back position. Tyler, who you got?
So I'm going to go back in time a little bit.
How far are we going back?
We're going a little back. Adrian Peterson. When I first started playing fantasy football, we were speaking of daddies. This guy would hit you with 1 yard. 2. Well, we're not going to actually talk about what happened.
I was just going to say, where are we going here? Where are we going with this?
We're not going to talk to Durr. No,
good.
I mean, he'd hit you with 1 yard, 2 yards. Then all of a sudden, your week was made. 60, 70-yard run, touchdown. And not once. Usually 2 times a game that happened. Adrian Peterson, watching this guy up here from the start of his career till he's probably 30 was a treat. Like it's one of those things where you don't respect it until it's over because it was so fun to watch. It was a dominating time and period where this guy would be unstoppable. He was breaking tackles. The way he ran, he shouldn't be able to have lasted that long, but he did just because he was a
best
robot.
season ever coming off an ACL. Like,
Yeah.
not even close.
And I still remember looking at videos 4 months after surgery, and he's doing hills at full sprint. It's just like, what is this guy? Like,
He's an alien.
This shouldn't be happening. So Adrian Peterson is my daddy running back because, man, it's one of those things where it's nuts. Like Nick Chubb and Adrian Peterson, if they were in the same time period, those two going head to head for the rushing title would have been awesome because Nick Chubb is getting 30 carries a game back in those days.
Oh yeah.
So Adrian Peterson is mine.
Yeah, and I met Adrian Peterson a handful of years ago at an autograph show.
That's how you
Super
broke
nice
your
guy.
hand.
I shook his hand, and I haven't recovered since.
Hasn't recovered.
Yeah, and here's where I'm at. Thanks, Adrian.
He signed your cast.
No, but for real though, like I wanted to shake his hand because everyone's like, and dude, he shook my hand, and I was like, holy shit, like wow, it's like vice grips.
Makes
And
you wonder why he had fumbling issues.
He wasn't even flexing or anything. It was just like,
No.
and I'm like,
it legit makes you wonder how he had fumbling issues, his whole career because it's nuts.
yeah, it was absolutely.
Gripped the ball so hard it just popped out.
It just popped.
Yeah.
It softened and slipped out. I hate it when that happens. So
Oh man.
let's switch over to a wide
Is that a
receiver
Coffin
daddies.
story?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're related in some way, shape, or form. James, give me that wide receiver daddy.
It's gotta be my wide receiver daddy is Tyreek Hill. Year after year, consistent production in the top 10, minus the year, obviously, that he was hurt in 2019.
I want to know the real question. Were you part of the group that was buying Tyreek when he had his off the field?
I
For
was
seconds.
I was
bought him
buying
everywhere.
when he had his off the field stuff. I was buying when he got moved to Miami.
Miami.
And it just the proof is in the pudding, man, as they say. He finished as wide receiver 2 with a poor quarterback play towards the back half of the season. Like anybody that can maintain 16 to 28 fantasy points a week, like that is your daddy at wide receiver. All right. What does your daddy do? He runs really, really, really fast. And he just put out a thing. I know it's probably just a little bit of smoke, but he wants to be first to 2,000. He wants to be the first 2,000-yard receiver, which, if we look at the stats, I don't know if he can get there, but
Maybe
he was only
Mahomes.
290 off the mark last year. And we saw what happened. So I guess that would rely on if Tua's steadily on the field week after week with no concussions,
Let's hope
God
so.
willing. Yeah. And, but yeah, no, PPR number 2 last year, stayed in the top 6 the year before. And obviously we knew what Mahomes was given. Now he's bringing around the players around him have been upgraded due to his play because he commands so much attention from the defense. When he does have the ball in his hands, he's electric. And there's not many people that can do that in the league. And I think he's going to continue to do it for the next 2 years. He said he wants to play in until he's 30, 31?
Something like that. He's getting like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. So if I'm a competing guy and I am lacking at wide receiver, I'm still buying Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
I'll pay the first down the road plus another player for Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I'm for my wide receiver. I'm going to star in the show, the newly because they bring back everything in Hollywood, right? So my new show is called My Two Dads. It stars Joe Burrow and it stars Jamar Chase. Those are my 2 dads, and the reason why Jamar Chase is on this list is because if you remember, let's go back in time, only a few years now, in Superflex leagues, Jamar Chase fell into my lap at 105 in multiple leagues, and I couldn't hit the draft button fast enough. He's the wide receiver 2 in Dynasty.
Doug. He can't catch.
Yeah, he's terrible.
The college ball's different.
Brick hands.
Yeah.
He
Thank you,
anything.
Kyle
College
Pitts.
ball.
Thank you, Kyle Pitts, for being
Yeah.
drafted ahead of Jamar Chase. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. So for me, it's Jamar Chase because he's been just a daddy on those rosters. That, that when you're 105 in like a 10-team league, you're in the middle. And to get now the wide receiver 2 in Dynasty on your roster is just going to push you over the top. And that's what Jamar Chase has done for me. Tyler and I had a trade where I got Jamar Chase, which was awesome because I have Burrow. So I'm double daddy in that league as well, which is fine. I did have to give up Trevor Lawrence, but, I digress. So Jamar Chase, and I think Jamar Chase injured last year. I think Jamar Chase, you want to talk about 2,000-yard receivers? Jamar Chase could be the guy.
I'm just gonna one up you, and
it.
Justin Jefferson is my guy.
There you go.
The actual
I
wide
left him
receiver
for
one. You want to know why? He was my wide receiver 1 the rookie season. It was me, Zach Reed, J. Mike. We were on the hype train. Everybody said it was CD Lamb.
He's only a slot guy, Tyler.
Yeah, he's only a slot guy. But I saw it. I threw down names. I'm like, hey, Mike Wright was talking about how he loved other rookie receivers. And I said, I will bet you a water bet that Justin Jefferson has the best rookie season out of everybody. And I said, you can have total yards because I didn't know if this rookie class was going to hit. But, man, Justin Jefferson is the daddy receiver that I'm going to pick because I have him everywhere. Doug, you and I, we got him super late.
After Jalen Reagor.
Trade Addict 7, we snagged him up, and he's helped us win championships.
Can you imagine being the owner that drafted Jalen Reagor ahead of
It's
Justin
probably
Jefferson?
the same person that passed on Jamar Chase as well, which we also have.
Yep, both of those guys. Double daddy duty again.
Yep.
Hello.
And Justin Jefferson, who is 23 years old, has tons of records, and will probably be right up top, really close with Jerry Rice at the end of his career.
He'll be the highest paid receiver of all time here.
Yep. He'll be very soon. That's the reason why they're talking about Kirk Cousins maybe being out because, hey, how can you afford both? And if you're going to choose, you're going to choose the best receiver in football that could actually make a quarterback be better. So
100%. Let's move it on to tight end. James, give me the tightest of ends on Daddy Day.
I mean, there's no other that even comes close, doesn't hold a candle to Travis Kelce. The man is 33 years old and still the Dynasty 1 for tight end.
Except will probably never be a real dad if you hear anything on the the
Kelce
Heights,
podcast.
New Heights. If you listen to their podcast, he is okay with being the funny uncle.
That's cool.
That's
I mean, hey, and he's only 33, so life changes fast, but
He
it
likes
hasn't
to
really
party.
changed much for Travis Kelce because, I mean, the man has just been dominating fantasy since 2016 when he first took over the tight end 1 position on our rankings, and he continues to do it. Doesn't matter what the case may be, as long as, even if he misses a game here or a game there, he still somehow finishes as a top 1 or top 2 tight end year after year. And I don't see it stopping. I really don't. I mean, we have always said, hey, when the wind comes out of his sails, it's going to be quick. But you know what? Year after year, I've kind of hedged that and said, hey, it's going to happen soon. It's going to happen soon. Pick up a little Noah Gray here. And it hasn't happened.
Jody Fortson. No.
Yeah.
So with Kelce, it never seemed like he was running fast. He's just so smooth and he's smart. You hear rumors that him and Mahomes are on the same page. Like Kelce can change a route right when Mahomes is about to snap and Mahomes knows exactly where he's going. Like that connection
It's
helps
like a Brady
ton.
and Gronk type of thing
Yeah,
going on there
except
for sure.
without the back injuries.
And the ACL and the
Well,
elbow.
Kelce has major knee problems to start. So, I mean, he started his career with bad knees. So,
yeah. All right, I'm going to move to mine. And my daddy is Darren Waller, not because of where he is now, but where he was when I acquired him in Dynasty for $0 to $3 in most leagues when he was a Baltimore Raven. And, we started to hear some buzz about Darren Waller when he was with the Ravens. Obviously, he was a converted wide receiver to tight end. He had some issues in his personal life, but really started to get it together. And, I always chase the athleticism at tight end. It's what I do. It tends to work out pretty well for me. So I got Darren Waller on a bunch of leagues. He helped me win championships in back-to-back years, which was awesome when he moved over to the Raiders and had a 100-catch season. And then after that, I said, thank you. I invested $0 to $3 in you. I'm going to flip you for $300, and I'm going to use that money towards the next generation of players on my roster. Total daddy move when it comes to Dynasty is you take those hidden gems, you polish them up real nice until they're real sparkly, and then you sell it to someone else.
Yeah. So for me, mine is going to be Mark Andrews, and it is just due to his rookie season. And, Hayden Hurst was drafted in the first round. Andrews was the third-round pick. And we said it here on Dynasty Happy Hour. I'm glad the Baltimore Ravens drafted the replacement, Hayden Hurst replacement in Mark Andrews, even though Hayden Hurst was the same draft class. I was huge on Mark Andrews, took him everywhere, got him in the third or fourth rounds, and capitalized on it. I traded, I think, a little too early in a lot of leagues, so
Yeah.
he was definitely one of my most rostered players, and he's one of the players where I kind of regret not hanging on to a little longer because I thought, hey, I'm getting a first for this guy that I drafted in the third. Let's just stop there. No, I should have hung on to a player that I absolutely love, and that was a tough part in Mark Andrews, but he is my daddy tight end.
Nice. Before we move on to our Father's Day flops, those lovely pairs of underwear and socks that you get
Flops
for Father's Day.
wrong.
And speaking of flops, we got Manscaped. It has the right tools for the job. Proper grooming requires precision-engineered tools. Not only does a man's sensitive area require it, but hygiene absolutely demands it. Skin-safe technology, Lawnmower 4.0, Weed Whacker nose and ear trimmer, comes with all the stuff to make you smell, feel, taste great. I don't know. But crop preserver, the cleanser, the reviver, it's all there. It's a welcome package. You get a free pair of underwear with it for your Father's Day. So use code DHH for 20% off at the checkout. Manscaped, your balls, they're going to thank you for it. All right, let's move on to our Father's Day flops. The guys that are on your roster and they spanked you and called you daddy, not in a good way, but because you were, it was just not good. So, James, who's your quarterback? Dynasty quarterback, Father's Day flop that you got spanked by?
I got spanked by Carson Wentz. All right.
Ooh,
and
that's a good one.
mainly
Yeah,
because,
a
a lot
Does
of
that mean
people
you're spanking yourself, Tyler?
looking in the mirror, just
Yes.
spanking herself,
After a
finishing
little
up that cock. Anyway,
I have to wash it off my hands.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Carson Wentz doesn't have to wash off anything because he's never going to be on any of my dynasty rosters ever again. After that run that he had, I believe it was 2019. I was all about it. I said, you know what? He stepped up, got his team to the playoffs, and yeah, they won a Super Bowl. Not on his back, but mainly on his back. That's
On the groin of Nick Foles.
On the groin of Nick Foles. Very good, Doug. I like that. But he let us down year after year after that. And he took his fall from grace. I mean, he went from Washington to Indianapolis or vice versa, whatever which way it was. It didn't really work out for Carson Wentz. And now he's sitting there saying, oh, I'm just biding my time. Guess what? You're still going to be biding your time.
No one
you
wants
should
you,
just
dude.
go out and get lunch with Phillip Rivers at this point.
Yeah, my quarterback that didn't work out and it spanked me in not a great way was Baker Mayfield. I was so in on Baker Mayfield when he came out. I thought he was going to be the next guy. I was so into him in a league that Tyler and I are in, or now Tyler's back in Bar Tab. I traded Kyler Murray, who I've never really liked, and TJ Hawkinson for Baker Mayfield. I was so into Baker.
Ouch.
He hasn't really baked anything since his rookie season. It's all tasted like shit since. And now he's in Tampa. He'll probably be the starter. Maybe he can crop revive his career in Tampa Bay. But we'll see.
He's bucking it.
I still have him on a couple of leagues because I'm not going to drop him. And he's a quarterback in Superflex. So I still have him, but he's my quarterback 4. And I look at what could have been after his rookie year, and it's been all downhill. It's day old bread for Baker Mayfield. Tyler, who's your quarterback?
So I'm going to give you two. First one, no context. Davis Mills. You hurt me.
Oh, yeah. We traded for Davis Mills, and that didn't
Davis
stay.
Mills, you hurt me. I thought you were better, and you literally just showed up last year and forgot how to play football. Just completely.
Regressed.
Literally everything you learned the year before, you forgot everything. Even though you had the same coordinator, whatever. But the main one is Trey Lance. I'm going to put him here.
Yeah.
Yes. And that is because Doug, in that league, we talked about trading Jamar Chase for Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
I then traded Trevor Lawrence for Trey Lance.
Ouch. Oh.
And then he traded Trey Lance to me.
Then
But
I traded Trey Lance to
it was
him
a good trade for both
for
of us,
108
Yeah,
and a
108.
little. So Trey Lance is the one that actually hurts me, and I still have
Still only 23 years
quite
old.
a bit of rostership. Hey, people are saying his form is changing, his hairline's changing, everything's changing.
George Kittle was talking him up on the Yahoo podcast the other day.
And honestly, he's got all the talent in the world. Guy has hardly played any football. And it's kind of the same with Jordan Love. I just like all these unknown players, apparently, because I like Jordan Love, who you haven't seen play football for what seems like a decade. And Trey Lance is also in that same boat, who we all, if he would have never gotten hurt that game last year in week 2.
Against Chicago in the rain.
Things could be different,
Yeah.
but it looks like that this is Purdy's team, and I think Purdy has a pretty good grasp of the quarterback one.
Yeah. I agree with you on that. Let's move over to the running back position. James, who you got?
I mean, probably the easiest flop in the past 3 or 4 years in fantasy football. It's Clyde Edwards-Helaire. We just talked about him earlier.
The CEH over Jonathan Taylor, people.
Yeah. Jared
scene,
McKinnon and Isaiah Pacheco just pretty much kicked CEH out of the running back room last year.
I would say being Swift is better, but apparently it's not much better.
It's not much better, but the whole point was that they went out and drafted CEH as a first-round pick. Even though it was a real late first-round pick, he was that only running back that year to be drafted in the first round, and maybe rightfully not.
His tape was so fun.
He's a fun player. His college tape was great. I think Joe Burrow pretty much just amplified every single
Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase.
I mean,
of course CEH could run
so great. Why wouldn't CEH be a top running back in the NFL? Oh wait, he was what?
5'7",
5'9",
205,
and yeah. And it just doesn't work out. We saw glimpses of hope, breaking through the tackles, etc., getting open for passes, and then something just like Tyler said about the other quarterback, it looks like he just forgot. Like he's not showing up. I knew pass blocking was going to be a problem, but at the rate that you picked up CEH, he should have balled out for you. And everybody that's listening to this podcast can probably agree that he was one of the Father's Day flops for the ages.
Yeah, he could pass block, but could he cock block? Because I could have really used him last night.
He cock blocked a lot of rosters, I'll tell you that much. At the 101. Whew. That was one of the
people. Yeah.
RIP
RIP
TFF Gurus podcast, but that was always the funnest debate between me and my brother-in-law Josh. He was on team CEH, I was on team Jonathan Taylor. Do you think I let him live that down to this day? The answer is no.
I was on Swift, and you know what the real answer is? None of them. You should have drafted a different position because all the running backs are now falling.
Yeah, but that's okay. My running back, this is a pretty easy one for me because it gives me the most heebie-jeebies when I think about it. It was Samaje Perine. I took him in the first round in a league.
Ooh. He panned out last year. Hey.
Yeah, over Alvin Kamara, over Kareem Hunt.
Work this year.
In Washington, I saw he's got opportunity. I liked his, he wasn't much of a pass catcher, but I liked him as a player. And that blew up in my face. Now we're 5 or 6 years later, and he's still relevant.
He looks like the Perine in college. Right now.
He's aging like fine wine, Samaje.
Yeah.
Aging much better than his brother, LaMichael Perine, who I don't even know is in the league anymore. So, yeah, mine's Samaje Perine pretty easily because that was the first running back that came to mind when I was like, oh, he just owned me. It was bad.
Mine is easy, and it's a big name. It's Derrick Henry because I faded the crap out of Derrick Henry. I was not about it. I thought he was too big. And you know what? When he kept failing year after year to, get carries from DeMarco Murray, I was like, see, told you guys, told you. And then he blew up.
And you were like, egg on face.
And it was more than egg.
Really cocked you everywhere.
Yes, it was everywhere, just all over me. So that is where I was at with Derrick Henry. I rostered him nowhere.
This is the DHHR department. We have a complaint. Too much cock talk.
Too much cock talk. Sorry, that's Dynasty Hardware Hour. We'll talk about that.
Dynasty After Hours Happy Hour.
Hardware Hour.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's move on to wide receiver. James, give me yo's.
It's really easy. It's the Baylor Bear, Denzel Mims.
Nothing ever good comes out of Baylor. Sorry.
No.
You could have just said
I could have
Baylor
said
Bear
Baylor
wide
receivers. Every single one.
Corey Coleman.
Ooh.
That
who
gives
else
me
was there?
nightmares.
Please be different, Tyquan Thornton. Please.
Yeah,
Could.
maybe. Could. Probably not.
No.
Possibly you.
Yeah, probably not. Stay away
We're
from
like
Baylor
that. We're like that
wide
meme of the
receivers.
girl that's like, yes, no.
I mean, the guy
Maybe.
burned me so bad. I wanted to jump off a
I took him
Atlantic
over
City
T. Higgins in a league.
garage because
Ooh.
it was
See,
just.
I was not on Mims.
I
so
took
I'm
him
very
over
happy.
Justin Jefferson.
Oh,
That
so we are looking for a
cuts
replacement.
very deep.
Ouch.
Okay, mind you, it was one of my first rookie drafts. I haven't been playing.
You didn't know what you were
Dynasty
doing back then. It's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
I
Yeah,
mean,
neither
that's,
was I.
and that's what it was. And
You would
know
never
what it
make that
is?
mistake again.
No, it was my first take lock on a player because I heard
Oh, yeah.
so much hype on Denzel
He runs real
Mims.
fast.
He runs real fast. He looked great at the combine. His film was nice.
Looked
He had
awesome in
really
that game against
sticky
the Chiefs.
hands.
God damn it.
And then nothing. Didn't work out with the coach. Didn't work out because of quarterback play, which, they've switched all that up now, but I don't believe he's even on a team anymore.
He's on the Jets still.
Rightfully so.
For now. He won't make the 90-man to 53
He's
cut.
not. I mean, Randall Cobb is going to beat him out.
Yeah, 100%. Someone will pick him up and throw him on a practice squad, though.
So I do want to go back to when James said it was his first rookie draft. My first rookie draft, James, I traded up from 107 to 105 to take Tavon Austin. At 107, my second choice would have been, who actually fell to 107, DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh, so you feel my pain. I mean, obviously
It
this
happens.
was in the second round, but
happens.
yeah, it's just how it goes. And I mean, it's the first dynasty lump on my resume.
We all
and
have them.
you
I'm going to
take
talk
'em
about
and you
mine.
They're
learn
called
from 'em.
hemorrhoids. They're called hemorrhoids.
Yeah, Denzel Mims, the
That shit
hemorrhoid that
hurts,
you can
bro.
ever cock.
Dynasty
Yeah.
hemorrhoids.
That's a dynasty happy hemorrhoids. Mine is pretty quick and easy, and I think a lot of people fell into the same trap that I did with N'Keal Harry. Picked in the first round by the New England Patriots, had opportunity. I loved his tape at Arizona State. And, we all know how it went.
DK Metcalf went off. AJ
Total
Terry
Brown
Homer
McLaurin,
flop.
Deontay
Terry
Johnson,
McLaurin.
AJ Brown. Everyone taken after N'Keal Harry was better than N'Keal Harry. The first year that I was in the comic book league with Tyler, I had the 107, and my first ever pick in that league was N'Keal Harry.
N'Keal Harry.
Oh,
And he was a Bear last year. Now I believe he is out of the league. I'm surprised he's not in the XFL or something yet. But
He can't
when,
separate away from the NFL either.
yeah, and that was the knock on him is he couldn't separate. And how true did that end up being? That was his downfall. He couldn't separate on the NFL level.
the
He was
only
a
thing
big
he
body
separated
guy,
from was
and
the
that
New
was it.
England Patriots.
Which is so weird because his combine was awesome. Like his combine,
Yeah.
he was so smooth. And now there is one thing I did like N'Keal Harry, and I had him as my wide receiver one. But during a rookie draft, I drafted N'Keal Harry at 105, and the guy who drafted AJ Brown at 201 offered me AJ Brown and a future second for N'Keal Harry, and I said, you know what? I don't have any AJ Brown. I accepted
Oh,
it.
you bastard!
I got AJ Brown. I was happy, but yeah,
Yeah, that worked out.
it did. But you know what didn't work out? My wide receiver, and that's Dante Moncrief.
Oh,
man.
I thought about him for mine
the
too.
mountain of Moncrief.
Moncrief was my guy. Like if you guys go back and listen to episodes,
Mhm.
I loved Dante Moncrief. I thought he was it. He is Gabe Davis before Gabe Davis was even born. Like that's my comparison
Don't
because
do that to Davis.
it is. It's spot on.
He never caught 4 touchdowns
He did. He caught more than 4 touchdowns.
in one game.
Not in a game, but I think he caught
in
3,
my
didn't
heart.
he? I think he caught 3 in a game. I could
Possibly.
swear.
He
I'll
might have
bet
had maybe.
All right, yeah, you should Google it because I swear he did because the hype was real. Like I wasn't the only one. John Bosch was on it. Doug was on.
I love Moncrief. We're
Doug-
laying next to each other, dead on the
Yes,
hill, holding
we-
hands.
We are dead on this hill together,
Yeah.
holding it. Well, I don't know if they're hands, but
At this point, they're just bones. It doesn't matter.
yes, like it could have been like we looked at each other kind of like a day after tomorrow. We're like, bye, Doug, bye, and then we just evaporated.
And I didn't give up the ghost. I held on to him until the bitter end.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
So he's a
and he-
Patriot on special teams.
Oh man, he looked so good. I thought he was it, and he was an electric athlete out of Ole Miss, if you can remember that. But Moncrief was it. I still love him.
Yeah, Moncrief's a tough one. Let's move to tight end before we get out of here. James, who you got?
My tight end is Cole Kmet. And yes, I know he's still
TBD.
rather young and TBD, right? But with all these new tight ends coming in this year, I've realized that maybe we put too much faith in the Hawkinson and Cole Kmet jar of type of tight end. When they were coming out, they were supposed to be elite out the gate tight ends, and it just never seems to happen that way. Mark Andrews, a later round pick, boom, blows up. Travis Kelce, later round pick, boom, blows up. We're still waiting for Cole Kmet, and I would have thought that this season may have been it, but they added another target in DJ Moore. They'll have a healthier Darnell Mooney coming back. I don't
Not
see
Chase Claypool.
and yeah, it's not Chase Claypool for sure. We'll be lucky if he makes the roster. I believe if he's still
he's got to remember he's on the team before he can make the roster.
Oh yeah, that's right.
What's a playbook?
But I mean, even last year, Cole Kmet, I mean, he had a little boost in production. Finished his tight end 7. But I don't really see him repeating that option. With the limited passing that happens in the Bears offense with Justin Fields just running all over the place, I can't see his ceiling being much higher than tight end 7. So you're drafting him where you're getting him, and that's never what you want to do in Dynasty. You want to see that stock rise, and with other tight ends that are going around the same area, the Dalton Kincaid, the Sam Laporta, I'd rather try with a younger guy
us right now
that had a little bit more oomph, Tyler,
there it is.
coming into the NFL than Cole Kmet. And it seems like I'm just cooling on him. I'm cooling on Cole, and he's going to be
are you cool, Kmet?
It's so cold.
Hey, it's Father's Day. I'm
terrible.
making dad jokes out here, okay? I'm staying on theme.
Terrible.
Staying on theme.
I don't have a commitment.
Nice.
Nice. That was good.
I am my tight end. I originally put none because I don't miss. It's not true. I miss on tight ends, but I hit way more than I miss. But I'm going to give you one that I still have rostered in a ton of leagues. My flag was planted so far, I hit the center of the earth.
Njoku.
On David Njoku, yes.
Yeah.
And here's the thing.
Jersey represent.
I think Njoku, he's 26 years old. He's still
I think he's like 24
young.
still.
He's still mad young. He's been paid. Is this the year Njoku approaches top 5 tight end? I don't know. I hope so.
This is an evergreen sentence.
Sounds like a hot take episode.
This is an evergreen sentence from
Doug. But I'm going to go with Njoku because the draft capital, I spent multiple end of the firsts on David Njoku. I was so into Njoku, and I did move him in a couple of leagues. I cashed out because I wanted to diversify my bonds. I went to Wu-Tang Financial. They were like, look, you got to diversify your bonds. I'm like, cool, I'll do it, Rizza. Let's move some over here, invest it into something else. But David Njoku's mine. I still have hopes like James has for Cole Kmet. So David Njoku would be mine.
Oh, where to start for me?
It makes a lot of sense with David Njoku too, because of the Elijah Moore thing coming in.
Yeah,
it's really going to be tough sledding ahead for Njoku to maintain that top 5 tight end price that you paid so many years ago.
So where do I start? Do I start in the beginning where Tyler Eifert?
Austin Hooper?
Tyler Eifert, somebody who
he was good for a couple of years.
For a year, injuries. And I remember starting him, and I was like, he didn't get a touchdown? Oh, cool.
Hayden Hurst, maybe?
These 4 points are great. Do I go Irv Smith? That's an option. Who
that's a good one.
I absolutely loved. A guy from Alabama. This guy's
he's done.
He's like a receiver. Now he's getting more hype from Cincinnati. I could go that route. I could go Kyle Pitts, who hasn't really panned out, even though he had the historic rookie season, which that's the reason why I'm not going there. But there's one guy that stands out. One guy that defeats them all. O.J. Howard.
Oh, yes.
Oh, very good. Very good.
That O.J. is way past expiration date.
O.J. Howard
Don't drink it.
The dude I loved. I was
non-pasteurized.
108 in non-tight end premium leagues. After those running backs dried up, I was taking him. And once Joe Mixon was gone, I'm like, give me O.J. Howard. Let's go. This guy is going to be the next big thing. He could run like a gazelle. This guy is so fast. But guess what? He just forgot to catch. He
can run.
It was like he couldn't pat his belly and tap his head at the same time. He couldn't catch the ball and run at the same time. He had to stop, catch. Oh, shit, what do I do? Yeah, it was an awful scene. he flamed out, and it looked like he was going to revive his career a little bit with the Bills. He had a little bit of hype.
Then he went to the Texans?
Yep. Then he went to the Texans, and he showed up in the Texans. I think he's still a Texan.
No, he's a Raider.
He's a Raider.
Okay, never
He
mind.
moved to the Raiders,
See, this is what I'm talking about.
You don't even know where he is anymore. You're like, what?
You don't know where you're getting your OJ from. So
That was supposed to be the awesomest tight end class in sliced bread.
Njoku.
He's like the orange juice from concentrate.
So
the frozen can that we
I'm
had
happy
back
that
in
we
the
hit
90s.
this because I know James is an Ingram guy, Doug is an Njoku guy, and I was an OJ Howard guy. And you know what?
The Triforce of nothingness.
James is laughing at us all through the aisles. And you know what? I didn't even mention Austin Hooper because I don't want to even talk about his slow running ass because it would be worthless.
He made Jason Witten look fast.
It did. That one catch when he was a Falcon, when it was like
he went 80 yards or whatever.
It was the slowest play known to man.
Like looking at my watch, like, is this play
like
over?
how they clock players in, like, oh, he hit 23 miles an hour.
It's like
He
you're
hit 4.
You're watching Red Zone. You see Austin Hooper catch the ball, and by the time that's done, like 4 other players in the NFL scored, and
They
then
got
Austin
backed
Hooper
up.
finally scores.
They got backed up. They're like, okay, now we got to hit what other things happen.
Like, cut away. We'll get back to it.
Yeah, Scott Hansen's like,
Mark
come on,
Ingram
guys,
just
let's
They
scored
go.
a
come back
touchdown,
from
cut
commercial and
away.
he's still running on the field.
Yeah, Scott Hansen is like, come on, guys, we can't do this anymore. No more
It's
Austin
like
Hooper
Tech Bowl
highlights.
when you run north to south, like to weave.
It
takes forever.
was bad. But yeah, tight ends, we all have their misses. You know what? Luke Musgrave will probably be a miss for me, but I still am holding hope for this class. I know Doug's got Laporta in this class.
Yep.
Kincaid is just everybody's love. And
Watch Mayer be the guy.
Mayer, who is the Notre Dame guy I absolutely loved last year, I was talking all about, is probably, like Doug said, going to be the guy that hits and is the dude that is just the 700 for 7 and is a
Tight end one.
Tight end 1.
That's all you need.
All the opportunity, no competition. Like
Oh, he's got OJ Howard and Austin Hooper on the team. Come on now.
now.
Yeah. So and I want to hit one defensive player just for fun. Deion Jones for the Atlanta. I thought
he
the
was
world.
good for many
he
years.
was so
He was
good.
for a while.
And then
He was an
Milk-
LB1 for like 5 years.
Milk Carton. Just if
He got hurt, went to Cleveland. Now he's not even signed.
are we sure that the whole Thanos Avengers thing wasn't real and he wasn't one of the ones that just
He just
disappeared?
didn't come back after that movie came out.
Like he came back. He's on a team now, I think, or was, but
He was on Cleveland. They traded him to Cleveland, and I don't think he's been picked up by anybody.
yeah. So yeah, he could have been one that got
You
snapped.
could put Keanu Neal on there too.
Oh, I loved Keanu Neal. Damn it.
He left Atlanta, and he's been bouncing around like.
How about
playing
I give you one? I give you
linebacker.
one Falcon better. I had his jersey, Vic Beasley. 15.5 sacks, sack
we
leader.
can go back
half a
like
sack.
a Jeremy Shockey
Jeremy Shockey was legit
was
good,
great
though.
and then fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah, but he was also older. He had great years. You can't mention somebody who had great years before and just fell off.
I feel you. All right, let's wrap
What,
this
like
thing
Kyle
up.
Pitts did last year?
Hey,
Oh, hey now.
historical
Oh,
Kyle Pitts. Put
he
some
had a
respect.
historical car crash.
All it needs to do is happen once to be.
We're not
historical.
talking Kellen Winslow.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I'm a soldier. All right, let's move it on and wrap this thing up. We've gone over, but we're having fun, and that's all that matters. I hope you had fun too while you've been listening. Like I said, make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. Go on Apple iTunes. Please don't leave a review of this particular episode unless it's a positive one. Please,
Do it.
thank you in
Do
advance.
it now, you sissy boy.
Do it. Who's your daddy?
Put cock all over you if you do.
Yes.
What does he do?
Boy, DHHR coming in hot.
Durr's
Before we
here.
wrap up, I did want to tell you about Dynasty Nerds. Go to dynastynerds.com, support Rich and team. You can sign up for the Nerd Herd. Use code DHH. You get 15% off of any subscription. There's a trade calculator. You get an extra episode a week. You get a prospect film room, scores, Dynasty GM, all sorts of awesome stuff in there. And then Verdian Global, like James said, it's 85 degrees in Jersey. I need a new T-shirt. So I'm going to go to Verdian Global. I'm going to search in Dynasty Happy Hour and buy a new T-shirt. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and do that. Buy a hat. Do all the things. It's great to have all these awesome sponsors on our podcast. Tyler wants to pipe up and cut me off before we leave like he always does. So Tyler, go right
I
ahead.
didn't cut you off. I raised
You
my
were
hand like a
waiting
good
were
boy.
waiting
But
I actually
do want,
raised my hand first, but
I
yeah,
do
go
want to
ahead.
say,
was waiting to show
Dynasty Nerds, I am testing out their app. I'm beta testing their app. You guys,
Are you going to be the master?
smooth, clean. This thing is quick. It is nice. Like I'm going to be on this a lot this offseason. It's already available for Apple. I'm testing it for Android. It's working very smooth. I helped them out with a couple kinks, And yeah,
Like a
this
foot
thing's gonna be
thing,
ready to
or-
roll very, very soon. It is awesome.
All right, quick little plug here. I will be
Kids.
on the Front Yard Fantasy podcast on Thursday this week, 3 p.m.
Who's Front Yard?
Eastern Standard Time. Front Yard Fantasy. That's
If it's not in the backyard, I don't want it.
on the YouTubes. It's on the
Is it
tubes.
Shane Vereen still back there, Doug?
I think so. Shane Vereen
Dante
is on
Moncrief,
Front
bro.
Yard Fantasy. No, it's great time there. They do like a game show setting, 3 p.m. If you want to have some fun, talk some fantasy football, I'll be there cooking it up on Thursday
In the
Thank
front
you.
yard.
in the front yard.
Not the
Awesome.
back. Don't come in
Thank
the
you.
back.
Check your
Bro.
cock. Check your
This is
cock.
how
and
we
job.
became fathers. This whole talk is how we became fathers in the first place. So just
Ooh,
do
it's
the
so
opposite of us
sticky.
if you don't want to have kids. That's all I'm saying. So with that being said, for me, for James, for Tyler, this has been the Dynasty Happy Hour. DHHR will be giving us a call after this, I'm sure. And maybe we'll clean it up next week. We'll see what happens. But thank you for joining us. Happy Father's Day and Stepfather's Day to all you fathers of all the things out there. We appreciate you and for listening and spending your time with us. And I hope you had a great Father's Day. We'll see you next week on the Dynasty Happy Hour.